Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, you are audible.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtike Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devakinandanaya Cha नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीशुक उवाच क्वचिद् वनासाय मनोदधव्रजात् प्रातः समुत्थाय वयस्यवतः वत्सपान् प्रबोधयन् शृङ्गरवेण चारुणा विनिर्गतो वत्स पुरःसरो हरिः. Shukadeva Goswami continued, O king, one day Krishna decided to take his breakfast as a picnic in the forest. Having risen early in the morning, he blew his bugle made of horn and woke all the cowherd boys and calves with its beautiful sound. Then Krishna and the boys, keeping their respective groups of calves before them, proceeded from Rajabhumi to the forest. तेनैव शाकं प्रतुकः सहस्रशः स्निग्धा सुसिग्वेत्र विशानवेणवः स्वान् स्वान् सहस्रोपरि सङ्ख्ययान्वितान् वत्सान् पुरक्ष्य विनिर्ययुर्मुदा. At that time, hundreds and thousands of cowherd boys came out of their respective homes in Vrajabhumi and joined Krishna, keeping before them their hundreds and thousands of groups of calves. The boys were very beautiful and they were equipped with lunch bags, bugles, flutes, and sticks for controlling the calves. कृष्णवत्सैरसङ्ख्यातैर्यूतीकृत्य स्ववत्सकान् चारयन्तोर्भलीलाभिर्विजहृस्तत्र तत्रः. Along with cowherd boys and their own groups of calves, Krishna came out with an unlimited number of calves assembled. Then all the boys began to sport in the forest in a greatly playful spirit. Falaprabala stavaka sumanah picha dhatubihi kacha gunja mani swarna bhishito api abhushayan. Although all these boys were already decorated by their mothers with ornaments of kacha, gunja, pearls, and gold, when they went into the forest, they further decorated themselves with fruits, green leaves, bunches of flowers, peacock feathers, and soft minerals. Mushnam tonyanya शिक्यादीन् ज्ञातान् आराश्च चिक्षि चिक्षिपुः तत्रत्याश्च पुनर्दूरात् दशन्तश्च पुनर्ददुः. All the cowherd boys used to steal one another's lunch boxes. When a boy came to understand that his bag had been taken away, the other boys would throw it farther away to a more distant place, and those standing there would throw it still farther. When the proprietor of the bag became disappointed, the other boys would laugh, the proprietor would cry, and then the bag would be returned. यदि दूरं गतः कृष्णो वनशोभेक्षणाय तम् अहं पूर्वम् इति संस्पृश्य रेमिरे. Sometimes Krishna would go to a somewhat distant place to see the beauty of the forest. Then all the other boys would run to accompany him, each one saying, I shall be the first to run and touch Krishna. I shall touch Krishna first. In this way, they enjoyed life by repeatedly touching Krishna. केचित् वेणुवादयन्तो ध्मान्तं शृङ्गाणि केचन केचित् भृङ्गैर्पगायन्तः कूजन्तः कोकिलैपरे विच्छायाभिः प्रधावन्तो गच्छन्त साधु हंसकैः बकैरुपविश्यन्तश्च नृत्यन्तश्च कलापिभिः विकर्षन्त कीशबालान् आरोहन्तश्च तैर्द्रुमान् विकुर्वन्तश्च तैः शाकं प्लावन्तश्च पलाशिषु शाकं बेकैर्विलङ्घन्तः सरित सरितस्रव सफुल् सफ्लुताः विहन् विहसन्त प्रतीच्छाया सपन्तश्च प्रतिस्वनान् इत्थं शतां ब्रह्मसुखानुभूत्या दास्यागतानां परदैवतेन शाखं विजहृतकृत पुनः पुण्यपुञ्जाः. All the boys would be differently engaged. Some boys blew their flutes and others blew bugles made of horn. Some imitated the buzzing of the bumblebees and others imitated the voice of the cuckoo. Some boys imitated flying birds by running after the bird's shadow on the ground. Some imitated the beautiful movements and attractive postures of the swans. Some sat down with the ducks sitting silently, and others imitated the dancing of the peacocks. Some boys attracted young monkeys in the trees. Some jumped into the trees imitating the monkeys. Some made faces as the monkeys were accustomed to do, and others jumped from one branch to another. Some boys went to the waterfalls and crossed over the river, jumping with the frogs, and when they saw their own reflections on the water, they would laugh. They would also condemn the sounds of their own echoes. In this way, all the cowherd boys used to play with Krishna, who is the source of the Brahman effulgence for Gyanis, desiring to merge into that effulgence, who is the supreme personality of Godhead for devotees who have accepted eternal servitorship, and who for ordinary persons is but another ordinary child. The cowherd boys, having accumulated the results of pious activities for many lives, were able to associate in this way with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can one explain their great fortune? यत्पादपांसुर्बहुजन्मकृतृतो कृच्छ्रुतो धृतात्मभिर्योगिभिरपि अलभ्यः स एव यदृक् विषयः स्वयं स्थितः किं वर्ण्यते दिष्टम् अतो व्रजौकसाम्. Yogi, Yogis may undergo severe austerities and penances for many births by practicing yama, niyama, asana, and pranayama, none of which are easily performed. Yet, in due course of time, when these yogis attain the perfection of controlling the mind, they will still be unable to taste even a particle of dust from the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What then can be described about the great fortune of inhabitants of Rajabhumi, Vrindavan, with whom the Supreme Personality of Godhead personally lived and who saw the Lord face to face? अथागनामाभ्यपतन् मह्यसुरस् तेषां सुखक्रीड्यन वीक्षणाक्षमः नित्यं यत् अन्तर्निजजीवितेषुभिः पीतामृतैरपि अमरैः प्रतीक्षते. My dear King Parikshit, thereafter there appeared a great demon named Aghasura, whose death was being awaited even by the demigods. The demigods drank nectar every day, but still they feared this great demon and awaited his death. This demon could not tolerate the transcendental pleasure being enjoyed in the forest by the cowhead boys. दृष्ट्वारम्भं sorry दृष्ट्वार्भकान् कृष्णमुखान् अघासुरां कंसानुशिष्टः स बकीबकानुजः अयं तु मे सोदरनाशकृतयोर्द्वयोर्ममैनं सबलं हनिष्ये. Aghasura, who had been sent by Kamsa, was the younger brother of Putana and Bakasura. Therefore, when he came and saw Krishna at the head of all the cowhead boys, he thought, "This Krishna has killed my sister and brother Putana and Bakasura. Therefore, in order to please them both, I shall kill this Krishna along with his assistants and the other cowhead boys." एते यदा मत्सुहृदोस्तलितिलापः कृतास्तदा नष्ट समाव्रजौकसः प्राणे गते वर्ष्मसु कानुचिन्ता Prajasava pranabruto hiyete. Agasura thought, if somehow or other I can make Krishna and his associates serve as the last offering of sesame and water for the departed souls of my brother and sister, then the inhabitants of Rajabhumi, for whom these boys are the life and soul, will automatically die. If there is no life, there is no need for the body. Consequently, when their sons are dead, naturally all the inhabitants of Raj will die. इत्यवस्याजरं बृहद्वपुः स योजनायाम महाद्रिवीवरं दृष्ट्वाद्भुतं व्यात्त गुहाननं तदा पतिव्यसेत ग्रसनाशयाखलाः. After thus deciding that crooked Aghasura assumed the form of a huge python as thick as a big mountain and as long as 8 miles. Having assumed this wonderful python's body, he spread his mouth like a big cave in the mountains and lay down on the road, expecting to swallow Krishna and his associates, the cowhead boys. धराधरोष्टो जलदोत्तरस्थो धर्यनन्त अनन् अनन् sorry धरि आनन्तान्तो गिरिशृङ्गदंष्ट्रः ध्वान्तान्तर् आस्यो वितताद्भजिह्वा परुषानिलश्वास दवेक्षणोशनः. His lower lip rested on the surface of the earth, and his upper lip was touching the clouds in the sky. The borders of his mouth resembled the sides of a big cave in a mountain, and the middle of his mouth was as dark as possible. His tongue resembled a broad traffic way. His breath was like a warm wind, and his eyes blazed like fire. दृष्ट्वा तं तादृशं सर्वे मत्वा वृन्दावन श्रियं व्यात्ताजरः जगर तुण्डेन हि उत्प्रेक्ष्यन्ते स्म लीलया. Upon seeing this demon's wonderful form, which resembled a great python, the boys thought that it must be a beautiful scenic spot of Vrindavana. Thereafter, they imagined it to be similar to the mouth of a great python. In other words, the boys unafraid thought that it was a statue made in the shape of a great python for the enjoyment of their pastimes. अहो मित्राणि गदता सत्त्वकूटं पुरस्थितम् अस्मत्सङ्ग्रसनव्यात्त व्यालतुण्डायते न वा. The boy said, dear friends, is this creature dead or is it actually a living python with its mouth spread wide just to swallow us all? Kindly clear up this doubt. सत्यम अर्ककरारक्तम् उत्तरा हनुवद घनम अधरा हनुवद रोधस तत् प्रतीक्षाय यारुणम. Thereafter they decided, dear friends, this is certainly an animal sitting here to swallow us all. Its upper lip resembles a cloud reddened by the sunshine, and its lower lip resembles the reddish shadows of a cloud. प्रतिस्पर्धेते स्कृद्भ्यां सव्ये नगोधरे तुङ्गशृङ्गालयोऽपि एतस्तद्धंष्ट्राभिश्च पश्यत. On the left and right, the two depressions resembling mountain caves are the corners of its mouth, and the high mountain peaks are its teeth. Astra, Astra, Astra आस्त्रत्यायाम मार्गोऽयं रसनां प्रतिगर्जितगर्जति येषाम् अन्तर्गतं द्वान्तम् एतत् अपि अन्तराननम्. In length and breadth, the animal's tongue resembles a broad traffic way, and the inside is of its mouth is very, very dark, like a cave in a mountain. दावोष्णकर वातोऽयं श्वासवद् भाति पश्यतां तद्दग्ध सत्त्व दुर्गन्धोऽपि अन्तर आमिष गन्धवत्. The hot fiery wind is the breath coming out of his mouth, which is giving off the bad smell of burning flesh because of all the dead bodies he has eaten. अस्मात् किम् अत्र ग्रसिता निविष्टान् अयं तथा चेद् भगवद् विनक्ष्यति क्षणाद् अनेनेति बकारि उषन्मुखं वीक्षोद्धशन्तः करताडनैर्ययोः. Then the boy said, has this living creature come to swallow us? If he does so, he will immediately be killed like Bakasura without delay. Thus they looked at the beautiful face of Krishna, the enemy of Bakasura, and laughing loudly and clapping their hands, they entered the mouth of the python. इत्थमितो तथ्यम् अजज्ञभाषितं श्रुत्वा विचिन्त्यति अमृषामृषायते रक्षो विदित्वाखिलभूतहृत् स्थितः स्वानं निरोद्धुं भगवान् मनो ददे. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, who is situated as Antaryami, the Super Soul, in the core of everyone's heart, heard the boys talking among themselves about the artificial python. Unknown to them, it was actually Aghasura, a demon who had appeared as a python. Krishna, knowing this, wanted to forbid his associates to enter the demon's mouth. तावत् प्रविष्टास्त्व असुरोदरान्तरं परं न गीर्णाः शिशवः सवत्साः प्रतीक्षमाणेन बकारिवेषणं हतस्वकान्ता स्मरणेन रक्षसा. In the meantime, while Krishna was considering how to stop them, all the cowherd boys entered the mouth of the demon. The demon, however, did not swallow them, for he was thinking of his own relatives who had been killed by Krishna and was just waiting for Krishna to enter his mouth. तान् वीक्ष्य कृष्ण सकलाभयप्रदो हि अनन्यनाथ स्वकराद् अवच्युतान् दीनांश्च मृत्योर्जठराग्निघाशान् घृणार्दितोदिष्ट कृतेन Krishna saw that all the cowherd boys who did not know anyone but him as their lord had now gone out of his hands and were helpless, having entered like straws into the fire of the abdomen of Aghasura, who was death personified. It was intolerable for Krishna to be separated from his friends, the cowherd boys. Therefore, as if seeing that this had been arranged by his internal potency, Krishna was momentarily struck with wonder and unsure of what to do. कृत्यं किम् अत्रास्य खलस्य जीवनं न वा अमीषां सतां विहिंसनं द्वयं कथं स्यात् इति संविचिन्त्य ज्ञात्वा विशत् तुण्डम् अशेषदृग्धरिः. Now, what was to be done? How could both the killing of this demon and the saving of the devotees be performed simultaneously? Krishna, being unlimitedly potent, decided to wait for an intelligent means by which he could simultaneously save the boys and kill the demon. Then he entered the mouth of Aghasura. तदा घनच्छद्दा देवा भयाद्धाहेति चुक्रुषुः जक्षुरुर् ये च कंसाद्याः कौनपास्त्व अघबान्धवाः. When Krishna entered the mouth of Aghasura, the demigods hidden behind the clouds exclaimed, alas, alas! But the friends of Aghasura, like Kamsa and other demons, were jubilant. तच्छृण्व भगवान् कृष्णस्त्वव्ययः सार्भवत्सकं शूर्णिचिकीर्षोरात्मानं तरसा वव्रदे गले. When the invincible supreme personality of Godhead Krishna heard the demigods crying alas, alas from behind the clouds, he immediately enlarged himself within the demon's throat just to save himself and the cowherd boys, his own associates, from the demon who wished to smash them. ततोत्तिकायस्य निरुद्धमार्गिणो हि उद्गीर्णदृष्टेर्ब्रह्मतस्तत्त्व इतस्ततः पूर्णोऽन्तरङ्गे पवनो निरुद्धो मूर्धन् विनिर्भिद्य विनिर्गतो बहिः. Then, because Krishna had increased the size of his body, the demon extended his own body to a very large size. Nonetheless, his breathing stopped, he suffocated, and his eyes rolled here and there and popped out. The demon's life air, however, could not pass through any outlet, and therefore it finally burst out through the hole in the top of demon's head. तेनैव सर्वेषु बहिर्गतेषु प्राणेषु वत्सान् हृदपरेतान् दृष्ट्वा स्वयोत्थाप्य तत् अन्वितः पुनर्वक्त्रान् मुकुन्दो भगवान् विनिर्ययोः. When all the demon's life air had passed away through that hole in the top of his head, Krishna glanced over the dead calves and cowherd boys and brought them back to life. Then Mukunda, who can give one liberation, came out from the demon's mouth with his friends and the calves. पीना हि भोगोत्थितम् अद्भुतं महद् ज्योतिस्वधाम्ना ज्वलयद्दिशो दश प्रतीक्षखे वस्थितम् ईश निर्गमं विवेश तस्मिन् मिषतां दिवौकसाम्. From the body of the gigantic python, a glaring effulgence came out, illuminating all directions, and stayed individually in the sky until Krishna came out from the corpse's mouth. Then, as all the demigods looked on, this effulgence entered into Krishna's body. ततोऽतिहृष्टाः स्वकृतो कृता कृतार्हणं पुष्पैः सुगा अप्सरसश्च नर्तनैः गीतैः सुरावाद्यधराश्च वाद्यकैः स्थवैश्च विप्राजय निःस्वनैर्गणाः. Thereafter, everyone being pleased, the demigods began to shower flowers from Nandana Kanana. The celestial dancing girls began to dance, and the Gandharvas, who are famous for singing, offered songs of prayer. The drummers began to beat their kettle drums, and the Brahmanas offered Vedic hymns. In this way, both the heavens and on the earth, everyone began to perform his own duties, glorifying the Lord. तत् अद्भुत तत् अद्भुत स्तोत्र सुवाद्यगीतिकां जयादिनैकोत्सव मङ्गलस्वनान् श्रुत्वा स्वदाम्नोऽन्त्य अजः आगतो शिराद् दृष्ट्वा महिषस्य जगाम विस्मयम्. When Lord Brahma heard the wonderful ceremony going on near his planet, accompanied by the music and songs and sounds of Jai Jai, he immediately came down to see the function. Upon seeing so much glorification of Lord Krishna, he was completely astonished. Rajan Ajagaram Charma Sushmam Sukshmam Vrindavanedbhutam Vrajaukasaam Bahutitham Bahuva Krida Gahvaram. O King Parikshit, when the python shaped body of Aghasura dried up into merely a big skin, it became a wonderful place for the inhabitants of Vrindavan to visit, and it remained so for a long, long time. एतत् कौमारजं कर्म हरेरात्मा हि मोक्षणं मृत्योपौगण्डके बाला दृष्ट्वोच्चुर्विस्मिता व्रजे. This incident of Krishna's saving himself and his associates from death and of giving deliverance to Aghasura, who had assumed the form of a python, took place when Krishna was 5 years old. It was disclosed in Vrajabhumi after 1 year, as if it had taken place on that very day. नैतद्विचित्रं मनुजार्भमायिनः परावराणां परमस्य वेदसः अघोपि यत्स्पर्शन दौतपातकः प्राप्तात्म प्रापात्मसाम्यं स्व असतां सुदुर्लभम्. Krishna is the cause of all causes, the causes and effects of the material world, both higher and lower, are all created by the Supreme Lord, the original controller. When Krishna appeared as the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, he did so by his causeless mercy. Consequently, for him to exhibit his unlimited opulence was not at all wonderful. Indeed, he showed such great mercy that even Aghasura, the most sinful miscreant, was elevated to being one of his associates and achieved Sarupya Mukti. which is actually impossible for materially contaminated persons to attain. सकृद्यत् अङ्गप्रतिमान्तराहितां मनोमयी भागवतीं ददौ गतिं स एव नित्यात्मसुखानुभूत्यभिव्युदस्तमायोऽन्तर्गतो हि किं पुनः. If even only once or even by force one brings the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead into one's mind, one can attain the supreme salvation by the mercy of Krishna, as did Aghasura. What then is to be said of those whose hearts the Supreme Personality of Godhead enters when he appears as an incarnation, or those who always think of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the source of transcendental bliss for all living entities, and by whom all illusion is completely removed? श्रीसुत सूत उवाच इत्थं द्विजायादवदेवदत्तः श्रुत्वा स्वरातु चरितं विचित्रं प्रप प्र पपृच्छ भूयोऽपि तत् एव पुण्यं वैयासिकं वैयासकिं वयासकिं यन् निगृहीतते चेताः. Sri Suta Goswami said, O learned saints, the childhood pastimes of Sri Krishna are very wonderful. Maharaj Parikshit, after hearing about those pastimes of Krishna, who had saved him in the womb of his mother, became steady in his mind and again inquired from Shukadeva Goswami to hear about those pastime pious activities. श्रीराज उवाच ब्रह्मन् कालान्तरकृतं तत्कालीनं कथं भवेत् यत्कौमारे हरिकृतं जगुः पौगण्डकेर्भकाः. Maharaj Parikshit inquired, O great sage, how could things done in the past have been described as being done at the present? Lord Shri Krishna performed this pastime of killing Aghasura during his Kaumara age. How then, during his Pauganda age, could the boys have described this incident as having happened recently? तद्ब्रूहि मे महायोगी परं कौतूहलं गुरो नूनम् एतद्धरेरेव माया भवति नान्यताम्. O greatest yogi, my spiritual master, kindly describe why this happened. I am very much curious to know about it. I think that it was nothing but another illusion due to Krishna. वयं धन्यतमालोके गुरोऽपि क्षत्रबन्धवः वयं पिबामो मुहुस्त्वत्तः पुण्यं कृष्णकथामृतम्. O my Lord, my spiritual master, although we are the lowest of Kshatriyas, we are glorified and benefited because we have the opportunity of always hearing from you the nectar of the pious activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. श्रीसूत उवाच इत्थं स्म पृष्टः स तु बादरायणिस्तत् समा स्मरा स्मारितानन्त हृताखिलेन्द्रियः कृच्छ्रात् पुनर्लब्ध बहिर्दृशिः शनैः प्रत्याह तं भागवतोत्तमोत्तमा. Suta Goswami said, O Shaunaka, greatest of the saints and devotees, when Parikshit Maharaj inquired from Sukadeva Goswami in this way, Sukadeva Goswami immediately, remembering subject matters about Krishna within the core of his heart, externally lost contact with the actions of his senses. Thereafter, with great difficulty, he revived his external sensory perception and began to speak to Maharaj Parikshit about Krishna Katha. Hare Krishna. Thus ends this chapter 12 in the 10th canto, the killing of the demon Aghasura. So here we can understand that Aghasura has come in disguise. Uh, we can see that he has come out of revenge and also out of his serving his master. Kamsa sent and Aghasura came, and he came in the form of a python. And this python was not ordinary in shape. Yeah, it came as a python which has opened its mouth wide and as if like a tunnel. And Krishna in his childhood times, along with all the gopis, so all the gopas and calves, they went and they thought it's a great adventure. Kids want adventure and they thought this is an adventure. But some were doubtful because they could sense this is not an ordinary, yeah, it's not a kind of a material thing or a tunnel because there is some foul smell coming out of the mouth, and not only foul smell, yeah, maybe something is inside, one may think, but also gustly fire or hot airs were coming out of it. So, and then while they were still discussing, yeah, they were still discussing about should we go or not go, or before Krishna wanted to say okay, yeah, to take a cautious step not to go. By that time, already the cowhead boys entered, calves entered. Why? Because they know that when Krishna is there, why they have to be afraid? They had full confidence, they were fearless, and they just entered to have the adventure. And of course, all comes falls on Krishna because adventure is for them, but actually, it is more than an adventure for Krishna to handle the situation because yeah, Krishna takes all risks when it comes on him. And here what happened is the boys and the calves already entered, and now he also now rushes in. And we can see Aghasura was also not keen to anyway swallow the cowhead boys. Of course, he could see that how to take revenge for killing his mother and brother. Yeah, he wanted to actually take revenge by killing Krishna, who is dear to everyone. When Krishna is dead, when the cowherd boys are dead, the whole Vrajavasis, all the parents will also die, and in that way he can have a bigger scale of taking revenge. But we can see um, here the cruelty of this Aghasura was he was not just thinking only to kill Krishna but everyone. That's too much. That was too much, yeah. And when people are in the sense of revenge, yeah, then they take up the spirit of going to any extent. We have then Krishna enters, and for to kill Aghasura for Krishna, it doesn't take much time. When the devatas were afraid, they think, oh, what is going to happen? Because for them, on one side they know Krishna is the Lord, on the other side they know, but here still he's a boy. Just like if someone, yeah, we may see, hey, he's just still a boy, but yeah, he's not ordinary boy. He's having the Shakti inside. Then when he does adventurous things, then we think, oh, he's not an ordinary boy. So the devatas were afraid, and Krishna entered, and then we can see here how he has simply killed this Aghasura, uh, and yeah, here we can see not only that Krishna has revived the boys when they fainted, when the calves entering, it was ghastly poison, yeah, in fact, in the mouth of this Aghasura. So, all in all, we can see in the purport, yeah, I think I'll not go into purports much in detail, but I'll see there is one purport which is mm, mm, yeah. So from the body of gigantic python, a glaring effulgence came out, illuminating all directions and stayed individually in the sky until Krishna came out from the corpus mouth. Then, as all the demigods look on, this effulgence entered into Krishna's body. This is very nice. Here we can see the purport is nice because apparently the serpent named Aghasura, because of having received association with Krishna, attained mukti by entering Krishna's body. So entering the body of Krishna is called Sayujya Mukti. Uh, it means one entering um, in the abode of where Krishna lives. But later, verse proves that Aghasura, like Dantavakra and others, received Sarupya Mukti. So here what happened is that Aghasura he got the Sarupya Mukti. What is the Sarupya Mukti? Means the form of the Aghasura when it goes to the Vaikunta, will have the same form like Krishna. Aghasura attained Sarupya Mukti, Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, with references from Vaishnava Toshini of Sri Jiva Goswami. He is referring and saying that Aghasura attained Sarupya Mukti, being promoted to Vaikuntha planet to live with the same four-armed bodily feature as Lord Vishnu. The explanation of how this is so may be summarized as follows, if you want to understand why. The effulgence came out from the python's body and became purified, attaining spiritual Shuddha Sattva, freedom from material contamination. So, this spirit, the effulgence that came, because Krishna had stayed within the serpent's body even after the serpent's death, even after death. One may doubt that such a demon, full of mischievous activities, could attain the liberation of Sarupya or Sayujya, and one may be astonished about this. But Krishna is so kind that in order to drive away such doubts, he had the effulgence, the individual life of Python, wait for some time in its individuality, in the presence of all the demigods. Krishna is the full effulgence, and every living being is part and parcel of that effulgence. As proved here, the effulgence in every living being is individual. For some time, the effulgence remained outside the demon's body individually and did not mix with the whole effulgence. It didn't go and join the Brahma Jyoti. The Brahmana effulgence is not visible to materialize, but to prove that every living entity is individual. Krishna had this individual effulgence stay outside the demon's body for some time for everyone to see. Then Krishna proved that anyone killed by him attains liberation, whether Sayujya Mukti or Sarupya Mukti. But the liberation of those who are in transcendental platform of love and affection is vimukti, not just mukti, special liberation. Thus the serpent first entered the body of Krishna personally and mixed with the Brahman Jyoti. This merging is called Sayujya Mukti. But later, from the later verse, we find that Aghasura attained Sarupya Mukti. This is what. So, text number 38 explains that Aghasura attained a body completely like that of Vishnu. And the verse after that also clearly states that he attained a completely spiritual body like of Narayan. Therefore, in two or three places, the Bhagavatam has confirmed that Aghasura attained Sarupya Mukti. One may then argue, how is it that he mixed with Brahman effulgence? The answer is that as Jaya Vijaya after three births attained Sarupya Mukti and association with the Lord, Aghasura received a similar liberation. Okay, I'll stop here. This purport, if someone would like to read, it's 33, chapter number 12. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Maybe then can someone please Hare Krishna?
Yeah, so may I ask who is Yogeshwar, and there is also someone joining as Hare Krishna? Maybe, yeah, to get connected. Who is this in the name of Hare Krishna joining?
I am Yogeshwar.
Hare Krishna, Yogeshwar.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah. Where do you live? I mean, I don't know. Did we see us each other?
I live in Bokham.
You live in Bochum. Did we
Yeah.
meet then?
In the school maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe you can drop your number. Yeah, maybe we can stay connected. I can call you.
Yeah, yeah, perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah. You can drop a message here.
Okay.
And I saw someone as Hare Krishna. I don't know. Someone joined. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Then thank you very much for joining. And yeah, so that's yes. Tomorrow is Friday, right? Yeah, let's cover next chapter tomorrow. Thank you. वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ताई गौर प्रेमानंद। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare.
हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.